To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Well, I don't want to be true.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
I'm getting text messages from all over the African universe telling me that Shannon Sharpe was accused of the unspeakable.
Shannon Sharpe's life has just become a living nightmare after he just got accused of some pretty unspeakable stuff by a young woman, and y'all, it's not looking good for Shannon. We are talking leaked audio tape, a $50 million lawsuit, and shockingly enough, Shannon allegedly got warned that he would be in this situation by Monique, and guys, Monique's warnings have come to pass. Guys, join me today as we dive into all this drama, as we try and make sense of all this drama, and figure out why Shannon Sharpe is now dragging Jay-Z into his drama.
Granddad is nasty.
Liquor than fire.
I'm always very upfront with you guys about my biases, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not like Shannon Sharpe. I do not think he's a good person. It's personal for me, okay? Last year being the toughest year on my family in our entire life. And as soon as I got fired from the Daily Wire, there were certain people who I had done nothing to, who I had never spoken about, who were just like dancing on what they perceived was my grave.
Candace has given y'all her butt to kiss for 2 decades. And the moment, what they doing? They can't fire me, they can't fire me. The hell you say? Now look at her.
Now look at you, Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Ooh, that Candace karma comes quick. He's now in a very serious predicament because a young woman has come forward.
So, yet again, Shannon Sharpe is in the news for some pretty controversial reason. However, this time Shannon's drama is worse than he ever imagined. You see, Shannon just got accused of assault by a Jane Doe, and what she is alleging is some pretty horrifying stuff. Under the legal representation of a Tony Busby, Jane Doe filed a lawsuit in Nevada. According to the lawsuit, the Jane Doe alleges that Shannon R-worded her multiple times over the course of 2 years. Not only that, the woman alleges that Shannon recorded their encounters without her consent, and he then proceeded to share said encounters with other people. Shannon allegedly met this woman back in 2023 at a gym in LA. She was 20 at the time and he was 54. Shannon reportedly attempted multiple times to pursue her after they first met. The woman alleges she wasn't into Shannon at first, but after his repeated persistence, she finally gave in and decided to give him a chance. And that's when things allegedly started becoming weird.
They met. Now, to be clear, she says she was just 20 years old, which I hate. I hate that a 56-year-old man is hitting on a 20-year-old at the gym. Again, not illegal, but yes, probably very immoral. I think we can all agree. Like going after young women who are younger than your daughters, it's pretty gross. He would have been 54 at the time.
Y'all, according to the lawsuit, Shannon allegedly gave the woman an NDA to sign before they could even meet up. However, since he allegedly wanted to get with her, he reportedly dropped the NDA thing after she refused. According to the lawsuit, Shannon was a very controlling guy who was into some really weird stuff. And not only that, Shannon allegedly wanted to control her. In one incident recounted in the lawsuit, Jane Doe alleged that Shannon became really violent and threatened to unalive her after she arrived late to his place. According to the lawsuit, this was unacceptable to Shannon. He demanded complete control over her time and her body. The lawsuit further added, "A woman can say yes to consensual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept. Whenever he gave an order, he expected her to drop everything and follow it. And when it came to seeing him, the lawsuit alleges that Shannon demanded the woman drop everything and show up at the time he said. According to the Jane Doe, her and Shannon's relationship was a rocky yet consensual one. Now remember that time last year when Shannon accidentally went live on Instagram while he was in bed with an unknown woman? Well, turns out at the time he and Jane Doe may have had something going on, because Jane Doe says that that incident hurt her deeply because she wasn't the woman in the live with Shannon, and the incident deeply humiliated her, and after that she decided to distance herself from Shannon, but that allegedly seemed to just infuriate Shannon. Apparently Shannon started blowing up her phone non-stop. We are talking countless calls, DMs, FaceTimes, all that. It got to a point where the woman said she had to leave Nevada just to get away from Shannon. During this time, the lawsuit alleges that things became really tense between the two, leading up to an incident in October last year where Shannon allegedly forced the woman into a car and took her to her apartment, where he then proceeded to do some pretty unspeakable things to her. Sharpe grabbed her head, forcing her to look at him as she sobbed, the lawsuit claims. He said at that point, "Look at this. Look at my arm. I've got chills. That's how good this is." And apparently this wasn't an isolated incident. In January, Jane Doe claims that Shannon asked to come over to her place in the guise of giving her a Christmas birthday gift. However, once he got there, the lawsuit alleges that Shannon had other things in mind, and he proceeded to force himself onto her, and he refused to wear any protection. Now this is where the whole drama gets really messy. You see, up to this point, nobody in the public knew who this Jane Doe was. She filed the lawsuit and chose to stay anonymous, but Shannon was not having any of that. Once news of the lawsuit started spreading, Shannon wanted to set the record straight, and he decided to drop text messages between him and the Jane Doe to prove he was innocent and that all their interactions were consensually. Now, when dropping said texts, whether intentionally or by accident, Shannon did not remove the name of the Jane Doe in said texts. And guys, those texts were nasty. In one text, the lady who allegedly goes by the name Gabriela Zuniga asked Shannon to put baby gravy in her. I will let you read in between the lines with that one. In multiple other texts, she asked Shannon repeatedly to give her a big black baby. Guys, most of these texts can't even get read in here without YouTube taking down this video.
Shannon Sharpe signed a $100 million contract and immediately got sued for $50 million by a woman who said that he assayed her.
Now, Shannon's lawyer followed up these texts with a statement saying, "The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, language, and fantasy scenarios. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of the R word, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. He stands firmly by the truth and is prepared to fight these false claims vigorously in court. He looks forward to vindication through due process and a judgment based on the facts and the law. But the drama is far from over. Just when we thought this whole situation couldn't get messier, it got messier." Shannon took to his Instagram and revealed that this was a whole elaborate scheme from Laywa Tony Busby to extort him, just like he tried to do with Jay-Z last year. Not only that, Shannon revealed that Tony Busby was going to release a short out-of-context audio of him and Gabby that was supposed to make him look bad.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
And what do you know, just shortly after Shannon dropped his video, Tony Busby released the audio clip like Shannon said he would.
Like, I don't know. Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like.
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke out of you when I see you.
Now, Shannon could be clearly heard threatening the Gabby, but according to Shannon, that short clip was part of a 10-minute conversation that has been taken out of context. So turns out there's a whole history of wild, graphic messages between them that paint a totally different picture of their relationship. We're talking full-blown dominant, submissive vibes. Stuff like her allegedly asking him to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me while you're effing me. Yep, she said that. And here's where it gets even more sus. Tony Busby trying to drag Shannon didn't even release the full audio of their interaction. So now we've got an incomplete recording, no full context, and texts showing things might have been fully consensual behind the scenes.
So here's my take. I think it is probably true that he was set up. I think it is probably true that this young woman wanted money. I think it's probably true that she intentionally engaged in this sort of, I don't even know what to call this kind of kink. Is it like bestiality? I don't know what people are into these days, okay? I've aged out. I should really be referring to myself as a grandma. But I will also say this. These people put themselves into these scenarios, right? And again, over and over again, we are seeing Shannon Sharpe in these sorts of scenarios and continually having to make these sorts of statements so that he can ironically or unironically preserve his job and his reputation. How about just behaving well behind the scenes? How about not being a 56-year-old man that hits on people at the gym to avoid these sorts of circumstances? It's hard to feel bad for him.
So now the internet's asking, was this a toxic relationship that got twisted into something bigger? Or is someone hiding receipts? I mean, a lot of people feel there is something fishy going on here. Just take a look at some of these comments after the audio got released. Here we go again with that dirty rat Busby. This guy is literally the scum of the earth. I really hope someone deals with him soon. I don't. Believe any office. This, not a bit. I really. Like this guy, not true. This girl is trying to set this man up. Read the text this girl sent him and tell me this was a trap set by her. This audio is wild, but I'm with those saying it feels like a setup. The context matters. Sharpe's team says there's a history of consensual roleplay and the texts back that up. Seems like she might have been baiting him to get a reaction for the lawsuit. Either way, this whole situation is messy. What's the full story behind that recording? Her tone kind of seems like this was similar to the roleplay following the text where she asks him to come choke her with a dog collar. Her voice doesn't come off in fear, but honestly, like she knew what to say to get him to respond accordingly while she records. Her tone doesn't seem fearful.
I'm getting text messages telling me that Shannon Sharpe was accused of the unspeakable. I'm going to stand with my Uncle Shannon Sharpe. That's right. I'm going to stand with Uncle Shay Shay on one condition. Uncle Shay Shay, no more snow bunnies after this scandal.
Anyways, right after lawyer Tony started facing some backlash from people online, he came out with a shocking statement alleging that Shannon had offered Gabby $10 million to make this whole scandal go away. He followed this up with a statement on his Instagram with the caption saying, "On the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. Jane Doe was in fact offered $10 million to settle, but rejected that offer, choosing instead to proceed with litigation. Sharpe's team is now trying to discredit and dox her. Sharpe and his team are now, as anticipated, also attacking me. We are not going to be deterred by these tactics." Now, many have pointed to the fact that lawyer Tony used this very tactics with Jay-Z, and he ultimately got exposed as a liar, and now he is getting sued. So people feel hesitant to feel he isn't doing the same thing with Shannon. Anyways, what do y'all think about this whole mess? Do you think there is more to that audio clip? Let me know your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to check out our other videos for even more shocking videos and the latest of celebrity tea. Till next time, bye.